turning data into value, strategies for secure data, sharing, and monetization.
My goal is to inspire you to think about how you can employ your data to make new benefits for your company. We'll talk about strategies for secure data sharing and monetization, and bear with me. Okay, I'm Maciej Szatkowski, Google pre-sales engineer at Squalio. Throughout my career, I mostly spent in the enterprise companies, working on different technical and leadership positions. Last few years, I enjoy working with top technology, focusing on cloud and data engineering and security, really specializing in Google Cloud. Okay, let's talk about data as an asset for your company. First, I will tease you with some report from McKinsey from 2017. They checked a number of companies operating globally, and the top performing company were saying that they can achieve constant growth through data monetization activities. And for over 30% of those companies, they were reporting the significant change or even fundamental impact on their business models of their companies. And because it is so transformative, it was for those who succeeded. There were CEOs employed integrating the data activities into their business. And now what changed? The report is from 2017, and we already see the impacts on those businesses. What has changed past few years is really the immense progress with AI and with data analysis capabilities we have. Thanks to generative AI, we no longer need to transfer the data that much, and we also have new options to work with the data, which is in natural language, in big documents, in images or audio recordings, or even video. Recently, we can process directly from the storage, from the objects. That really gives us the opportunities to work with the data you can save anytime, the data you work every day in your companies. What is also changed, you no longer need to be a technical specialist to work with your data. I will mention that later. But to wrap up on the generative AI and the progress we've made, I want you to think about what will be the future of the data that you will work with. We already see that changed, and we really cannot forecast today what will be in the next 2-3 years, what will be the types of the data we are able to work with thanks to AI progress. But obviously, the answer is you need to collect your data because even now, after those 1-2 years of AI on the market, working for us, we see that you can only achieve results from AI when you have proper data to fuel it for your use cases. Let's talk about monetization strategy for your data. So first, the foundation where companies start and where it requires the least resources and least knowledge from your side is to start with indirect monetization. Usually where companies tend to start is to build the data products which target internal stakeholders. So your management, your users inside your company, but also to customers or B2B. And I will talk about the impact that it can make for your company on the next slide. Then, when you know the value of your data and you know what is the interest from your stakeholders, you can start direct monetization. Usually it is by publishing your data products on the platforms or sharing direct access to your data. And usually it is targeting the business partners of your company. And yeah, we'll take a look on the impact that it can make. Usually it means paid services, paid access to your data. And then the top level, which requires most resources, is most complex to implement, is custom data services, where you either offer the platform to work with your data, or you provide custom data services for your customers. That requires most resources on technology, but also on the company sides, most skills and most experience. Let's take a look on the impact that data usage, data monetization can make on your company. So usually, and this is also the starting point related to indirect monetization, usually we see cost reduction initiatives. So those will be all the data usage for your operations improvement or decision support or portfolio optimization. But it can be also used to external users. For example, risk warning or decision support is always a good offering for anyone who will trade on the market or support your business processes. The other impact that we can achieve through data monetization is revenue increase. So it could be direct monetization through resell access to your data products, access to your data platforms, through insight sharing or data sharing, so getting the revenue from the subscription fees. But it could be also targeting your customer retention by collecting data that they are using on your platform and making them stay with your solution for longer. Or it could be also about portfolio innovation, so analyzing your data usage patterns of your users and inventing new products. And then the big group, which is other, not related to cost or revenue side. And this will be usually about CSR or ESG activities. Could be also about compliancy. But it could be also building your brand awareness or positioning your brand in your local environment. For example, reporting about sustainable packaging for your company or local sourcing. Now, this is the methodology to think about your data products when you design it or when you want to improve existing data products. You can think about what one of those aspects can be delivered by your data product and what will be the receiver, the target user of that product. The other part relevant for this methodology, it's not exclusive. So one data product could have a revenue increase target and one of the CSR or brand-related activities as well. Let's talk about technology requirements for data processing. So at really helicopter view, simplifying, you need to collect your data in the first place through some data collection pipelines and store it. Usually cloud will be the cheapest solution to store your data at big volumes. And the next step, you need to load and transform the data to your data warehouse so that you can work with it in a reliable and performant way when commercializing your products. The next step is to perform data analysis to understand what information you can pull out from your data, and last top level where you produce the value add for your users, for your customers, you need to drive some insights or actionable items that can your users benefit from. And I want to mention that with modern tooling, with generative AI, it's no longer required to have deep technical skills in data analysis, because of generative AI helps you to talk to your data. You can ask questions in natural language that you want to understand from your data, and you will get straight away insights based on your data. You can also analyze the data, the graphs, the images using generative AI and understand and make conclusions based on it. Also with modern tooling and integrated Gen AI, you really just work in graphical way with your data. Again, not necessarily understanding all the complexities of query language that you need to use to work with the data. Let's talk about now data monetization methods which help you to draw value add from your data. So first and simplest one is just to classify your data, put it into buckets depending on some attributes or parameters of object records. And then you can compare your objects based on some, again, parameters, attributes. Sometimes you need to create a more complex scoring system to make an order or ranking of data objects. And this will be just some abstract formula which you calculate based on parameters of the objects and order them. You can, and this is actionable item for your customers, for your users, you can recommend some decisions or objects based on data value you have, based on data you have. And this could be driven by machine learning, by analysis of your user, specific user, or it could be arbitrary based on some objective score or rating. Next method is to detect, which targets finding the extraordinary values in your data or events that occurred. It's commonly used in risk warning or support, decision support processes, applied whenever you need to find specific value. Predict helps you to extrapolate your data to find trends and predict next values in the timeline, in the time series of your data. Again, classical method would be to extrapolate data with algorithms. More often we see machine learning employed in this method. With optimized method, you can find the complex functions values based on number of parameters, and it would be used commonly to find the best fit of the complex objects for your user needs, like finding right credit or offering for your client. And last but not least, enrichment. Classically, it will be about combining multiple data sources to produce more insights, more value. With generative AI, we talk also about enrichment in context of generating new modality for the data. For example, voice from text or images from text. Or the other way, with generative AI, we can analyze images, graphs, and add conclusions, insights into data based on generative AI understanding. Let's switch quickly to data security. Really, again, high level. When we talk and when we think about data security, we need to remember at any time that data occurs in IT in three phases, in three modules. So first, when it is stored, it is at rest, and we need to think how to secure access to that storage, to that data. And whenever it is traversing between endpoints, between storage and application, or storage and storage place, it is in transit, and we need to think about how to secure that data when it is in transit between the endpoints. And last but not least, the application phase. Whenever it is in use by your customers or other application at the endpoint, you need to think about how you secure that access, how you control the data flow. The foundation for the security is secure platform, whether it will be secure landing zone with your cloud provider or the set of best practices for your data center. It is always the foundation you need to follow. Now, getting more into details specific about data monetization, I will refer to data-centric security model, which is nice and simple. It explains well what you need to think about and how to approach the process to design your data product in a secure way. So first you need to identify what data kinds you have, what attributes are within your data, and what sensitivity levels you will need to apply to that data, whether you have PII data or any other data that is restricted for use and regulated. Once you know your data sources, your data type, you need to understand what are the applicable regulations. Basically, understand where you operate, in which law context and regulation context, what are the sources of your data, whether they are legal for use in that context, and what are the compliance rules that you need to follow. When you have that knowledge, then you need to design your security policies. So define policies for governance and audit that you will need to implement, and all your audit controls. With protect phase, you then implement that security levels, so required data protection. You need to implement within environments, keeping in mind that data can be at rest, in transit, and in use. And last step is really to operate that. So you need to be able to track, monitor, and report data usage, meaning who, why, when, and what accessed in your data systems. And this is required by all the regulated markets and compliance systems to be able to report on that. Now, let me take insight into what are the options for data sharing and how to simplify that. So the simplest, yet not simple, but simplest way to share, to monetize your data is to have a direct data sharing with your end users. But it is also lowest value add because you don't produce any insights, you just share the access. There is no too much actions that customer can do it rather other than process by themselves. The next level of complexity, but also value add, is to share insights as a service. So serve the data products through application, through reports to your customers and collect the subscription fees for that. And the top level is the analytics as a service platforms, where you really offer access to your data, maybe data aggregated from other providers, and allow your customers to build their own insights or process the data the way they like. And you can also strictly control what are the access levels for your data and how it is used from your platform. That requires highest amount of resources, both on company side, on the skills and technological, but it's also mostly proficient for your monetary value. Now, there are two ways to simplify the process for data sharing. First is to use the data sharing platforms. There is a wide choice of that platforms ready to use. Still, there is a lot of work to really understand what you can offer to your customers and how to implement that on that platform. Yet they heavily reduce the effort required to start data monetization activities. And the other one is really to reach out for partner which will help you to go through your data monetization journey. And speaking of partners, I'm happy to help you follow up with me to talk about specific technologies and data platforms that you can use. I'm representing Squalio, which is present and delivers services across CE region. And we can, together with Anastasia, help you to build your data monetization platform or help you with any other cloud-related services. Thank you.